Hi guys, my name is Jennifer Levins. My hair looks like a chocolate chip and we're moving along. So I just want to welcome you guys to my channel. This is the Hippy Dippy Homestead. My hope is to take you guys along my homesteading journey with me. I live in Michigan's Upper Peninsula with my husband and my 2 children, and we have just started our homestead journey this past year. Like so many others during this pandemic, we found the need to become more self sufficient. And so we truly started acting on some dreams that we had had for a while. And our hope is just to take you guys along with us and have you guys learn as we're learning. So, just some disclaimers. I am not a professional YouTuber. I screw up a lot. You guys will see. And also, I say fuck a lot. It is my favorite word. If that offends you, then this is obviously not the channel for you. The video you guys are about to see is from this past Sunday. It's just kind of a typical Sunday around our homestead. I did some work in the kitchen, cleaned up after a birthday party, and then I also made some dandelion salve and some homemade bread. So I hope you guys enjoy. So to start our day today, we are going out and letting the chickens out. We have a flock of 10 chickens. We've had them since April. These are my babies, my bitches. I love them. And we actually converted an old camper into their coop. So that's what you guys are going to see. We call it their cooper.
Good morning. That's it. Oh. Good morning. Come on, Mama. You guys want some treats? Hold on.
So my bitches get treats every morning. Sometimes I give them warm oatmeal or warm water, especially if they're coming off of a really cold night. They also get our kitchen scraps, and I buy them chicken treats to have as well. They love mealworms. They love spaghetti because it looks like worms. They love their warm oatmeal. And a couple of our chickens really, really love plums. Our one monster truck, plums are her favorite thing to have as a treat. And she loves to share those plums with her sisters. Okay, guys, now that we're done with the chickens, we're going to come inside and start cleaning up. This is my kitchen, aka the shit show. This is such a disaster right now. We had my son's birthday party yesterday, and so it is such a mess from that. So I'm just going to clean up and tidy it a little bit. There are a million dishes to do, and So we'll get started with that. Okay, we are done with the counters. Now we're moving on to dishes. I do have a quick question for you guys though. Do any of you clean your counters before your dishes? Like you couldn't possibly put your dirty dish on a dirty counter. Let me know in the comments if that's just a me thing and I'm a weirdo, or do other people do it too? Okay, so kitchen is at least picked up now. So I'm going to work on the dirty dishes here, but I figured while I was working, I could just kind of talk to you guys a little bit more about why I want to start this channel, and why I want to create videos and content for you guys. So let's kind of get into that a little bit. Hold on a sec. There's a cup with like grossness in it. Okay. So first of all, do any of you guys do your dishes in a certain order? When I was a kid, my dad would always be like, you have to put the silverware in the sink first, and then you do all your cups, and then you do your plates, and then you do your bowls, and then you do your pots and pans. Like, he always had a specific order he wanted us to do. But anyway, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about why I wanted to start this channel. So while I was cleaning up, a friend of mine was here, and I was explaining to her a little bit more about why I wanted to do this. And so it made me think like I really hadn't told you guys. So one of the big reasons why I want to start this channel is, first of all, I am a chunky chick. You know, I love food. I ain't gonna lie. And I love really good food. And as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate good quality food. But it's expensive, you know? And so one of the things when we started going into our homestead journey and talking about homesteading a little bit more, one of the things I told my husband is I only want to grow organic. I don't want to use any sort of chemicals or pesticides or things like that. Because if I'm going to grow my own food, sorry guys, my dishwasher's making noise. I opened up the dishwasher. I was just going to load the dishwasher with all these dishes and realized it never got started yesterday. So I had to go ahead and start it. And it's kind of loud, but I really wanted to grow high quality organic food. Because if we're going to put all this work into growing food, then I want it to be the best food for our body we can have. So I've been trying to buy primarily organic food. I've been trying to grow primarily organic food. And, you know, you put just hours and hours and hours worth of work into... I just realized there's a stormtrooper behind me, guys. My son had his birthday party yesterday, like I was telling you guys in my intro. And he, that was a decoration we borrowed for the party, and I didn't want anything to happen to it, so I threw it up there. But anyway, moving along. I get very squirrel moments, and get off task, or off topic, but whatever. So, I wanted to grow really high quality food, and so that's one thing that, like, I want to share with you guys, is when you put so much work and energy into creating high quality food, you don't want to waste it. So a big thing around our homestead is not wasting the food that we're growing or that we're purchasing at the farmer's market or through my Misfit box. You know, these high quality ingredients that we're getting, I don't want to just be wasteful with them. So one thing I'm hoping to teach you guys as we're going forward is to use your food, all of it, So if, you know, you're using oranges, what can you do with those oranges and the peels and the pulp and everything from that fruit so that you're not wasting any of it? Things like the eggs that our chickens produce. We don't waste any part of that egg. Even the shell goes back into our homestead somehow. Whether it be in our garden soil or whether we feed it back to those chickens. There are so many things that people don't know about how to be, I don't want to say frugal, but like, I guess that would be the word. Resourceful. Let's use the word resourceful. How to be resourceful around your home, in your homestead. And how it can save you money, first of all. And it brings us back to the most natural state that our bodies are supposed to be in. Our bodies are not supposed to have chemicals running through them all the time. That's not what our bodies are equipped for. And if we're doing those things, we end up being unhealthy. Now, I say this as a overweight person who, for many, many, many years, did not eat healthy and did not, I would go on little spurts where I would eat really healthy and then I would get off the wagon and fall apart and, you know, gain 20 pounds and whatever. But I'm trying to get out of that cycle. I'm trying to just focus on what my body is telling me it needs. So, not to say I don't ever eat sweets, because I do, I love them. But I'm trying to refocus the food that I'm eating. So if I'm eating something sweet, how can I make it better for my body? And how can the food that I'm eating, how can I use all of that product so that I'm not wasting any of it? So that's just some of the things I want to share with you guys. I'm going to finish up these dishes here. And then another thing that I want to show you guys as we go along this process of YouTubing. Another thing I want to show you guys is just like real life homesteading. So, you know, like I said, we're just starting out. We're still learning. I can't do things perfectly. I'm going to fail at a lot of things. But I want to take you guys along that journey with me and just see what the real life is. You know, we go online and we see all the perfect, you know, Instagram photos of, you know, gardening and raising animals and things like that. And it's not always like that. It's dirty. It smells bad. Our houses are trashed 90% of the time. Sometimes you have a chicken running around your house. Like, it's real life. So that's what I want to show you guys, is just kind of what the real life expectation of having a farm and homesteading is. Like I said, our homestead isn't even like a true homestead yet. We have dreams of owning property one day. We're working towards those dreams. But as we're doing that, we also want to learn so that when we get to that point, we can have our property, we can start, you know, truly owning our farm. Then we have the skills to do that. So we're learning, you know, how to grow our own food, how to take care of animals, how to raise chickens, how to raise rabbits in the summer, because we raise rabbits for meat. Lots of different aspects, and we're doing it right now on 1/4 of an acre in a tiny subdivision that gets snow 6 months out of the year. So if we can do this, you guys can too, and I'm hoping to be along with you for your journey as well. So apparently this is like the YouTube money shot here. So here is me cleaning my sink. I hope you guys enjoy. a shit show behind me taken care of. So I am going to be working on dandelion salve now. So what I have here is I have probably 2 cups of dandelions. I had my kids pick them over the summer. I actually pay my kids 2 cents per flower to bring me dandelions in the summertime. And I put them in a jar, fill that jar with olive oil, and then I just let it sit in the windowsill for months. Typically about 3 months. These have been sitting probably 4.5 to 5 because I kept saying I was going to get around to doing this and never did. So, I have my jar dandelions. This is just the flower. I have a bag of 100% natural beeswax. I have organic coconut oil. And I have eucalyptus essential oil. What I'm going to do is first I'm going to strain off my jar of dandelions. So I'm going to pour it through this sieve. Now, typically you would use cheesecloth, but I don't have any cheesecloth, so I'm just using a paper towel. It's going to take a little longer. But basically it'll strain all of the chunks of flour out and just leave the infused oil. So then I'm going to heat that oil and melt 1/4 cup of the beeswax and 1/4 cup of the coconut oil. I may end up having to go 1/2 cup because this is a good bit of dandelion infused oil, but we'll see what happens. Now, as far as like what this is good for, we use this throughout the year. I use it on my hands a lot, especially in the winter time, so it's not so, my hands get very dry, and it helps with them, keeping them moisturized. I use it anytime the kids have like a cut or anything like that. I put some of that on there. We also use it, let me show you guys this. I also use it to make focus cream for my son. So my son has ADHD and trouble focusing. So I use the focus cream, the dandelion salve. This is actually from ours last year. It's our last container of it. And I use it, I add in some mental clarity oil and have him use that. We try to use it every morning. Doesn't always happen. We roll with it, moving along. But I actually use it sometimes when I'm having trouble focusing during my day as well. So we're going to strain off our dandelion salve, melt in our beeswax and our coconut oil. I'm going to let that cool just a little, and then I'll add 12 drops of my eucalyptus. If I end up going to 1/2 cup of the beeswax and the coconut oil, then I'll add in 24 drops of my eucalyptus. And then I have these little containers to put them in when it's all done. So we'll start that process, and we'll see you in a moment. So I'm just going to get this dandelion salve started here. So I'm going to strain off the dandelion flowers. I tried to use the paper towel in place of cheesecloth, and that was just an epic disaster. So we're just using the sieve that I have here, and it seems to be catching all the small bits. So I think we're fine. I'm just going to take my wooden spoon here and smash down the flowers so that they release all of the oil, and I'm just left with a giant clump of dandelion flowers. So while this is working, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about dandelions. Dandelions are one of my favorite plants on earth because they're so versatile. You can use so many parts of the dandelion. You can use the flower for things like the salve that I'm making today, or even to make dandelion jelly, which is delicious. It tastes like honey. It's amazing. You can also use the leaves in a salad. They're actually a really awesome diuretic. So if you're trying to lose weight, adding those to a salad can help with that. It can also help lower high blood pressure. And the root is actually really good for our liver. So a lot of people will make teas out of dandelion root. People just kind of go all willy-nilly and get rid of the dandelions that grow naturally in their yards. They spray them with all these chemicals and kill them. And honestly, you're killing something that is so incredibly healthy for your body. So next time you guys look out in your yard and you have a yard full of dandelions, just give that a little bit of thought and think about, hey, what can I bring this inside and use it for? So this video is getting to be way longer than I intended for it to. So I'm just going to speed through this next part of the process. So what I have here is I have a double boiler on my stove, and I have our dandelion oil and a half a cup of coconut oil and a half a cup of our beeswax. And what I'm going to do is just kind of melt everything together so that it's well blended and everything is melted. And then I'm going to take it off the heat, let it sit for a minute or two just to cool a little. You don't want it to cool too much or the beeswax will start to harden. And then you're going to get like really grainy salve. So just a minute or so tops. And then we're going to transfer it into our containers. Okay, so we got our coconut oil, our beeswax, and our dandelion oil all combined here. I'm going to scooch that over. All right, so now we're going to add eucalyptus. I decided to go ahead with the half cup. So, and actually I ended up going a little over because I added a little bit more. So I think I'm going to go like 28 drops, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This comes out fast. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and one good one for good measure. Okay. I don't know if that was exactly 28 drops. It came out really fast, but it smells so good. I love the smell of eucalyptus. Okay, so I'm combining that. And give it a good little zhuzh here. We're zhuzhing it. That's totally a word. Okay, this is going here. And now we're gonna pour. I have a funnel here because I'm gonna try and make this like go a little bit easier. I'm gonna fill these cups about 3/4 of the way. I'm hoping to get 4. Actually, I'm hoping to get 6. I'm thinking I'm only gonna get 4, but we'll see how it goes. Now this is hot oil I'm pouring, so I'm gonna be very careful. Okay. Here's one. I'm gonna leave these open till they solidify. 2. Oh, that one went a little too much. A little too much, but that's okay. 3. Might be able to get 6. I might actually get more than 6. Let's see. This is number 5. 5. Sweet. I think I might get 8 out of this, you guys. There's my 6, so let's see how many more we can get. This is 7. do 2 more because I think that'll get me all of them. There's 9. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Let's grab another cup. Glad I have a bunch of these. Ten. Okay, so I ended up filling them almost to the top on most of them. So the ones that I didn't fill all the way to the top, I'm just going to finish off my little bit. And there we go. All right, so I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's awesome. I thought I would only end up with 4. I'm apparently an awful judge of volume. Okay, so now we're on to my last thing of the day, which is making bread. So our family makes our own bread. We started this probably a month ago. So we try to make a loaf every couple of days or so. I actually spent a really long time not making our own bread because I was scared of my bread machine. I actually had a friend come over and show me how to use it because I was terrified of the darn thing. And now that I know how to use it, I'm kicking myself about why we didn't do it sooner. So I just want to show you guys the recipe I'm using. This one's called Peasant Bread. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's from a bread making cookbook. I'll actually get the name of the cookbook and drop it in the description box. But yeah, I'm doing a 1.5 pound loaf. That's what size my bread machine will do. My bread machine is a Well-Built is the name brand of it. Honestly, I think we got it at like a rummage sale or a thrift store type deal. It wasn't bought brand new, but it works. It has something wrong with the motor, so you guys will hear when I turn it on. It's really, really loud, but that's fine. It makes bread. It works. We're happy. So my recipe calls for 1 1/8 a cup of water, and this is warm water, okay? 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now I'm actually out of olive oil, so we are going to use canola oil and see how it turns out, because that's what I have here. 3 1/4 a cup of bread flour. So that's what I have here. 2 teaspoons of sugar. So I've got that right here. Oh, you know what? I think I only measured out 1 teaspoon of sugar. I may have to grab one more. And then 1.5 teaspoons of salt, which I have here. I'm just going to measure it. So I use the pink Himalayan salt, and I bought finely ground salt last time instead of like using a salt grinder. And for some reason, if we use the full amount, it makes everything super salty. So I'm only going to use half the amount. So I'll probably use like 1 teaspoon of salt. And then 2 teaspoons of yeast. So I just use a packet. And I looked on the back, my packet is right at 2 teaspoons, so we should be good. But I am going to grab some more sugar. So when you think you got your shit together, you never have your shit together, just so you know. So this is my giant thing of sugar. I need 1 more teaspoon. So we're going to put that with our sugar. So we buy our sugar and our flour in like the 25-pound things and then put them in a giant container. So I was like, oh, I'll set it all out. And then my giant containers don't need to be in the way. And here we are. Told you guys I was a hot mess express. Okay, so from what I've learned about bread machines in the very little time that I've been using it, is that there's a certain way that your ingredients have to go in. So when my friend came over and showed me how to use my bread machine, she actually wrote it on my machine for me so I would know what to do. So on my machine, yeast has to go in first. And you want it to go in a corner, so, which is hard to do because my pan is round. But we're going to put our yeast in a corner. So I just pile it up in there. Then we're going to add our dry ingredients next. So I'm going to add my flour. And I already measured this out. This is 3 1/4 cup of flour. So I'm just going to trying to make this where it all goes in and doesn't get all over my bread machine. Now I'm going to put in my sugar next. So there's my sugar. I'm going to add in my salt next. And like I said, I only use 1 tablespoon instead of 1.5. Excuse me, 1 teaspoon instead of 1.5. So lastly, we're going to put in our dry ingredient, our wet ingredients. So that'll be our water and our oil. I'll do our oil first. Okay, and then our warm water. So my family likes this bread recipe because it's super, super easy. Once your ingredients are in, you shut the top. I'm going to actually turn my machine so that I can see what I'm doing. But you auto-select dark. So, or I should say you select dark. Mine is already set on dark. And then you just hit start. And it does everything else for me. That's it. In a minute, you guys will hear the loud sound that my bread machine makes, though. So it's got a little, like, hook inside that spins and mixes the dough. It helps knead the dough. And it'll hit a point where it'll make, like, this horrible racket. But in about 2 hours and 22 minutes, we will have bread. When that's ready, I'll bring you guys back and let you see what it looks like. Okay? This is the noise it's making, you guys. It's alive. Hi guys, so I told you I'd bring you back and let you see the bread when it was done. So here it is. It's got a nice hard crust on top. It did kind of look, I don't know, it's a little funny right here. Normally like this ball here looks like this. I'm wondering if that's because I used the canola oil, but I think it'll taste just fine. It's got the nice good crust on it. It'll sit out here for a little bit and just dry, and then we'll slice it up and have it ready for sandwiches for tomorrow. Hi guys, thanks for checking out the first Hippy Dippy Homestead video. I hope you learned a little something and that you hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified anytime I upload new content to the channel. Thank you again for checking me out and have a great day. Bye.